Hey YouTube, coming at you with an Ultra League team from Skeeton who said, "Hey Dan, hit veteran in Open Great League and tumbled a bit during Fantasy Cup. I always seem to struggle to get my elo back up after flying. I think it's because the teams are more random at lower elos. And I don't usually play Ultra League, but I hate Fossil Cup. I wanted to give Vigavolt a try because I was seeing lots of waters and fighter. In theory, Vic should core break a lot of teams, but it's just too glassy and 3 volt switches to fly made it feel underwhelming. Initially, I tried to run a pseudo AB style team to draw out a fire with Crest, but I couldn't make it work. Had more success with Giratina. Please critique the suboptimal plays with ruthlessness. I really want to hit Legend after finishing the past 2 seasons at 2975 plus. Okay, so close to Legend in the past seasons. Greninja, Vigavolt, and Cresselia Giratina. So, yeah. Vigavolt is just, its ranking is not good. Bug is generally not a good typing. If you want a better electric, I think like Ampharos, you go Ampharos in the Ultra League. The fact that you say it takes 3 voltages to get to a non-stab fly just shows me that it's probably not a good Pokemon, but we'll take a look at it in action. The other Pokemon, Greninja, Giratina, and Crest, the only problem is if you go Greninja, Giratina, you're dead weak to Fairy. So that's a potential flaw, but let's take a look at the battles, see the actual play style as opposed to just the game. So, good lead. You're going to outpace this significantly with super effective moves, so this is obviously one we're staying in for. I would probably shield, because if they Poison Fang you and then Poison Jab you, you're going to be pretty much taken out, so you have to shield. They try to make a catch, and they do make a catch. It is on a Mandibuzz, so I assume you'll just come Vigavolt here. Get those Volt Switches off. Let's see how glassy this is. You are half Bug. Well, you're half Electric as well, so it's only neutral. Dark Pulse does about 50%. Going with the Fly. My only question is, with Stab, I think X Scissor may be better in terms of the overall damage. Let me just stop and confirm that first. So for those of you who are newer or still don't know what Stab is same type attack bonus. So if you throw a charge move or fast move that is the same typing as you are, you get a 20% damage bonus. And if you throw one that's not the same typing, you do not get it. So that is what I thought when it comes to X Scissor. So because you are a Bug Electric, X Scissor gets Stab and Fly does not. So when you look at the damage and damage per energy, the difference in damage is only 2. X Scissor does 78 damage and Fly does 80 damage. But X Scissor is only 40 energy and Fly is 45. So the difference in damage per energy is 1.78 for Fly and 1.95 for X Scissor. So basically, because of the same type attack bonus, you are supposed to throw X Scissor pretty much every time unless Fly does super effective. Or you can only get to 1 move, then get the extra 2 damage, I guess. But otherwise, just go Volt Switch X Scissor. So there's your first lesson. And you got taken out. That's fine. We'll come Greninja. We'll Water Shuriken down. Hopefully. Yeah, you got to commit the shield. You're so loaded. And Poliwrath. So, yeah, you definitely need to get out of here, but Hydroing and then getting out is fine. They're going to come Nidoqueen. You just basically need to let it go. My guess is they're going to double Poison Fang you, try to get this out. But they're just going to double Poison Fang you and then just try and like scald you with Poliwrath. They shield. I guess they're going to try to Earth Power you from this range then. They do Earth Power, not enough to take out. You got to try and farm a bit. I think the Poly will probably get to a move before, or even take you down with counters, quite honestly. Yeah, take you down with counters, and then you're going to be countered down. So yeah, first one, first thing, don't use Vigavolt. If you're going to use Vigavolt, throw the X Scissor. Again, sort of a neutralish lead. This does have Thunder Punch, so that will hit super effective. So just be aware of that. They do shield. a Hydro, and they do not fast move time properly, so you get a whole Water Shuriken through. It is just an Acid Spray. I would probably throw one and reset on something. Going to go back to back here, and then you're just going to let it go down and reset. And the only problem is if you're using Vikavolt and Crest in the back, you have nothing for steals. So double Acid Spray, getting that third Hydro off. Don't know if it's enough to take out. Munk is kind of sneaky bulky. Now you get out into Crest. This thing will probably also have Dark Pulse, so just going to take it out with the Leaf Blade or Grass Knot. Charizard. And the problems of running Moonblast X's or Grass move in the Ultra League is that you have nothing for Charizard. So Charizard is going to Blast Burn you here most likely. Non-Shadow, it may not take you out. Yeah, Crest is pretty tanky, so you're going to get to Moonblast. Throw the Moonblast. Not enough to take it out because it's resisted, but hopefully enough to chip. You can maybe try and catch if you want. Catch now. So in terms of catching, it seems like your opponent is smart enough to build energy until you right before you get to move. Again, I've got to do this because I've seen this play out so many times in videos about when to catch, and it happens all the time. So you try and catch on one and throw, and if your opponent's smart enough, they're gonna maximize their energy by getting it right before you get to your move that you can throw a move. So basically they're gonna get to the move, they're gonna throw it like one before Grass Knot, and there you go, one before Grass Knot, then they throw it to maximize their energy. So you could have potentially caught it there, but just letting it go. They probably have a second move, so if you come here, you're just sacrificing this, which is fine. Just sacrifice this, come and Volt Switch down, and it is a Swampert. So again, 2 X Scissors is probably the play here as opposed to Fly, because X Scissor basically does the same damage except you would get to it faster. 1 Hydro probably won't take you out. And if you went with X Scissor, perhaps you would have got to another one. It would have been close, but yeah, throw out the X Scissor. I'm not going to keep mentioning that because I'm assuming you make that mistake constantly throughout this, so we'll just ignore those future mistakes. Pidgeot. This is so annoying. So the good news is you'll get the Hydro first. Bad news is you're so glassy. I wouldn't shield anything. If they Brave Bird you and bail, that's fine. I personally wouldn't shield because I think it's going to be a Feather Dance. Yeah. And now you reset, and now they can Brave Bird or Feather Dance again. And instead they catch on a Steelix. At least you threw the neutral move, so this is neutral. They may have Crunch, which would hurt. But Crest is still pretty tanky, so it's not going to hurt that much. This is still, speaking about tanks, Steelix is a tank, and you're doing absolutely nothing with the Psycho Cuts. That's not good fast move timing, I don't think. Let me look at the fast move timing there. Okay. So Steelix is using Dragon Tail, which is a 3-turn move, and you are using Psycho Cut, which is a 2-turn move. So 1 and 4 are your optimals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so 5 is not bad, but it's not the best, but it's not the worst. So 5 times 2 is 10. So you're giving up 2 turns with a Dragon Tail on the 12, 4 versus 3, which is like, that's fine. I don't really care about that little bit of extra energy they get. It's just bad if you throw like right on alignment, which would be like 6, because that'd be 12 and 12, and then they get a full Dragon Tail too. But not quite enough to take it out. Do not want to get farmed down, so coming in here, if it's Crunch and Psychic Fangs, you could just take whatever move. That's fine. Yep, and that's exactly what it is. So getting ahead of energy, that's kind of like a good heads-up play, knowing that you can just take all that energy. Pidgeot comes in. Again, a fast move would say go throw 1 Water Shuriken before you throw that. Could you essentially just let 2 full wing attacks go through by doing this? Having back-to-back is fine, and being able to take it out is fine. They let it go. And now a water Pokemon at that. You are weak to fire with Vikavolt, but I think you're going to get farmed down here. No, you'll get to a move. But you reach it. This game is so inconsistent. It's unbelievable. So if you watched my video yesterday, you're going to see I had a 3-turn move that I got to a charge move, and they had a 4-turn fast move. And so I went 3 into the charge move, and they didn't let me. Meanwhile, here, you just did a 3x3 water shuriken, which is 9, and they did 2 incinerate, which is a 10, and you got the move off. So why you get it off on a 9 versus 10, and I can't get it off a 3 versus 4, just shows how inconsistent this game is. Vikavolt, bad lead. You said you were going to try and draw out stuff with Crest, so Crest in getting off the grass knot. This will be a good chip if they let it go. They do not. Now Talonflame, right? This is the problem with Crest. Not that there's a ton of fire, but there's enough. That and Steel. So I don't love Crest as a safe swap in Ultra League, quite honestly. Just between all the Steels and the Fires, there's just too many things that can just wall you. I don't think there's a point of shielding. I think you just got to come Greninja. Okay, go 2 and then a move here. That's nice. Okay, so they will be loaded. Get 2 off here. I think they're close to a move, so you might want to have to just go 1 in Night Slash. And they give up Switch and Snipe. So at this point, I think you just have to try and go Vikavolt. So this is one where you actually do throw Fly, because Fly is super effective and X-Scissor is resisted. So Fly, they shield. The problem is you're so glassy that you kind of need to shield, and they're going to lower your attack with Icy Wind. Yeah, 3 Volt Switch to Fly for non-stab Fly is so bad. You do get it off. Incinerate's going to chunk a lot here. Maybe you can take this out here. And they transfer the damage. So they are loaded with energy. 1 in a Hydro. You're just going to let this go. I guess you got to come out with 3 moves because they had a move. But yeah, or 2 moves because they had a move. But yeah. Okay, not a great lead. Staying in. You can chip with Night Slash, but they don't need to shield. They may because, yeah, they don't need to shield. Ooh, attack boost. Okay. So now they have to shield. Now the question is, do you just take that shield advantage, or can you get to another move before they get... They've got a lot of energy. Yeah, you might want to just let this go and come Vikavolt trying to farm down. This thing's so glassy, though, so you kind of need to shield. Having Greninja and Vikavolt, which are both super glassy, is probably also not the best combo. And here we go. Registeel, you have no moves in the back for Steel. Yeah, so I think your biggest problem is just team comp, quite honestly. Outside of team comp... Oh, Giratina. So this is when you made the change to Giratina. Perfect. Yes, Giratina is an answer. I forgot that you have half Crest, half Giratina here, which is why I have that at the bottom. So you let that go, that's fine. Just going for the Shadow Sneak, being super effective. You have a shield advantage. This is... Yeah. Go watch that video. Stop what you're doing. I appreciate the notifications on. Smart catch. Smart catch, knowing that they're going to throw right when they get to the move, because they have shown that. So now you can go 1 and throw here. So smart catch, smart fast move timing. 1 and throw here. Same thing. Hopefully it takes out. It does. And now we just throw quick, because they're probably going to Zap Cannon you. They could just go double Focus Blast, but they may try and Zap Cannon you to lower your attack. Holy, Reggie is tanky. This is now a race to the moves. I would throw 1. I feel like it's going to be 1 and 1. Depends if they lower their attack. They did lower the attack. I'll go Shadow Sneak. And then you can probably get the rest with just Dragon Claw here. And yeah, I was going to say, that would be pretty close. So I think if you can get to the Shadow Sneak, it'd probably be better. But they're so low, but your attack is lowered. I don't know. Reggie's so tanky. It's such a crazy one there. Okay, terrible lead. Getting out the Giratina, which is a great safe swap. They will probably have the Dark Brutal Swing, which will hurt. That is why Ampharos is actually a good swap, or a good electric Pokemon, and not Vikavolt. So they're just going to stay in, knowing they can get to a second one, and maybe they have like a fighter or something in the back. So they're probably just going to stay in this matchup. Because if you're, if you only have Brutal Swing and an electric move, you probably have probably have like a fighter in the back to deal with some steel ground. So, and if they're not getting out to align with Greninja, they may have an answer in the back to Greninja, whether it be a fairy or whether it be a fighter. Out comes a Charizard. You'll get a move off here. This will be okay, Chip. I assume you'll come Greninja after, because why not? Blast Burn or Dragon Claw will chip here because Greninja is just so glassy. Blast Burn does 50%. And there is your Venusaur. Okay, so they have the Venusaur for the Greninja, which is why they didn't need to get out immediately. Frenzy, Resisted Frenzy still does 50%. Just going for the neutral X Scissor as opposed to the super effective Fly. That's fine. Getting off a second one here. They may let it go now that they've seen X Scissor. Yeah, they probably didn't know the moveset on Vikavolt. And this is where I may have thrown the... This is just a tip when your opponents don't know the movesets. So why everyone is so... There's always an advantage to using Pokemon that people don't know the movesets and counts on. Right? It's very easy to know the counts and movesets for all the meta Pokemon. It's extremely difficult to know the counts and the movesets in particular for Pokemon that are used like once in a blue moon like Vikavolt. So if I'm Venusaur, I don't know the moveset. I have no idea what. I see electric and I see bug, right? In your typing up top, but I don't know your moveset yet. So if you throw X Scissor first, you're throwing Volt Switches at me and then you throw X Scissor, my mind is immediately going to say it probably has a X Scissor and like a Discharge or something charge move. So I probably don't know you have Fly. So once you throw the first X Scissor and they shield, you're more likely to land that Fly on the second one, which is why they didn't shield the second one, because they just assumed that you probably only have X Scissor. So I don't mind going X Scissor first because they don't know what your moveset is. But once they shield the first one, I think it's probably worth going to Fly because you'll almost always catch them off guard on the second one if they don't know your moveset. But it is low enough now that X Scissor will take it out. And they shield. How much energy do you have on your Greninja? So letting this go, you can get to a Night Slash, get this out immediately. I don't really want to take any more Vine Whips if I don't have to. Charizard. Getting to the Hydro. You can shield, and I've got to imagine that Greninja, even though Charizard's very attack heavy, should win CMP. Take it out there. Okay, bad lead. I'm guessing Giratina. Get hit with a mirror match. Okay, so you should be just going Dragon Claw. This will obviously do super effective. You've got to have an advantage because you had a energy advantage. Yes, you've got a little more chip from the Venusaur, but like I'd rather take the energy advantage. I think it's worth shielding here because I think you want to just try and fight for Switch, and I think you can take Switch because of your energy advantage. So getting this move off here, which will take it out, and if they shield, I think it's worth the shield, quite honestly. You're going to let it go. Yeah. So now you're just going to come Vikavolt just to get ahead on energy. The problem is they may just come in with whatever anyways. And now you're stuck on alignment here. Yeah. I think you were kind of screwed anyways. But I think that's one that you maybe need to fight switch for. You are able to get off another Night Slash, but Vikavolt has absolutely no moves for this. Now I know if you have 0 shields with Greninja, then you're just gonna get focus blasted into oblivion anyways. So you're gonna lose anyways, just because Vikavolt doesn't have anything to throw, and here comes this, and then you lose. I understand Vikavolt has nothing to throw anyway, so you're kind of screwed no matter what. Yeah. Again, that's just the Pokemon and Team Comp itself as opposed to anything else. Why they shield, I don't know. Maybe they're worried that as a bug electric, you resist Focus Blast and Zap Cannon, but still. So going straight Vikavolt, which I guess makes sense because Greninja's everything's resisted, and Giratina, besides the Dragon Claw, everything's resisted, and you take super effective from their moves. Able to grab a shield here, so they have a ton of energy, so they're not going to let you go down. The problem is they're going to have at least 2 moves, so there's no point of shielding this, because they have 2 moves, so you just have to let it go. Now, where do you go here is the question. I think you go back to Greninja. Yeah, they're low enough that you can Hydro them. They can only throw Dragon Claw against you, or resisted Crunch for some reason. Get the Hydro off. This will take out from this range. They shielded. That was just a glitch. So you're going to let this go and try and go 2-shield Giratina. You'll live, but they'll probably have another move here. Nope. You get another one off. Why are they saving 2 shields for this thing? What do they have in the back that they save 2 shields? They just drop 2 shields. Instant swap, yeah. So you can obviously take 1, but yeah, it would hurt. The problem is I think they're going to probably get to 3 before you take them out. Because your claws are resisted. So you might want to let 1 go in case they boost. And you just kind of recognize, yep, and they reset the boost. I mean, if this thing has Moonblast, you're kind of screwed anyways, but maybe you can like burn the clock out and try and catch. I go 1, they just threw it right away. I was about to say I'd go 1 and try and catch, but they burned it. There's the Moonblast. Are you going to try and catch right on the next time they get to it? There. Yeah. It was a good attempt. You kind of had to. And you get to move. So that's kind of nice. Let's see what they decide to do here, though. They let it go down with that energy. Come at Greninja. Now they have a couple Night Slashes. But you have a move too. But you need 2 Dragon Claws. And if they have back-to-back Night Slashes, they will take this. Oh, but I guess they don't? I thought they were way more loaded with energy there. Okay, that was kind of good comeback there, or a questionable play by your opponent. I don't know how much energy they had. Yeah. So number 1, don't use Vikavolt. Number 2, don't use Vikavolt. Number 3, Greninja Giratina double weak to Fairy is a little bit of an issue. You know, Giratina is pretty good in general, so maybe you can handle the fairies there. And then, yeah, just pick up a 3rd. If you want to use an electric Pokemon, because you're seeing a lot of water, use Ampharos. Or just use a completely different Pokemon. If you don't worry about waters too much, then just use a different Pokemon. But yeah, that is it. Thanks for the battles. Changing it up a little bit from all the Fossil Cup teams, but yeah, I wanted to switch it up here. And that's basically it. So thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.